Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago discussion video here on the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about something that's kind of interesting, at least to me, and that is the aspect of the legacy sets, and not only, I guess, the entirety of the legacy theme in general, but also just for one, I guess, specific thing. Now, I've noticed that some of the legacy sets, of course, are trying to be improvements of older Ninjago sets. I believe that's what the entire premise of Ninjago Legacy is, to go back to an older Ninjago set and remake it for the modern day and basically improve on it. And for the most part, several legacy sets that we've already gotten from the previous, I guess, few waves of Ninjago have been awesome. The Monastery, for example, is much better than the original Monastery set from way back in the day, but of course there are some exceptions to that rule, and some legacy sets end up being a little bit, in my opinion, worse than the original one. Now, I can see this trend also going into the next legacy wave as well for a few specific sets, specifically the Jungle Raider. Now, the original Jungle Raider, in my opinion, was an amazing set. It really didn't need to be anything too spectacular, but it was great for what it was. It was simply a Lloyd vehicle, and it looked relatively show accurate. The new Jungle Raider is much smaller, and you gotta wonder why exactly those changes are being made here. We could see something similar happening with the original Legacy line as well, with the Samurai X mech, which was scaled down heavily from the previous version, and it just made it a less show accurate model and made it a lot smaller and a lot less fun to go ahead and try to, I guess, pose and play with, which is kind of disappointing. So you gotta wonder, like, what's the point in even doing that? Now, if the legacy goal from the actual line is to go ahead and improve on older Ninjago sets, then why would they be scaling them down? I guess it's just kind of confusing to me personally. Now, I do admit that some of the legacy designs, again, are awesome. A lot of the newer stuff made from legacy is a much better representation of the actual set than older counterparts, such as, again, the Thunder Raider coming out looks much better than the original one. The Monastery, as I said earlier, the Ultra Dragon, in my opinion, is much better, but there are also some that aren't really, I guess, too great and are, in my opinion, not really improvements at all. But there's a reason for that, of course. These smaller Ninjago sets from Legacy, of course, you can't just remake smaller sets because a lot of small impulse buy sets aren't really that great to begin with. I mean, can you imagine trying to remake Lava Falls from the Tournament Wave as a, I guess, Legacy set? It wouldn't work. So that's why, I guess, the Jungle Raider is being used as sort of a proxy for the smaller impulse buy Ninjago set. And again, I don't really mind it. It doesn't really affect me too much, but it just kind of bothers me because if the entire Legacy line is supposed to be, I guess, an improvement over, I guess, older Ninjago sets, some of the stuff really doesn't represent that too well, specifically the Jungle Raider, which doesn't look to be as good as the original counterpart, and the Samurai X mech from the last wave. Of course, I'm not complaining here, I'm just pointing something out that's kind of strange to me personally, and overall the Legacy waves have been very good, and I'm really excited for the next upcoming Legacy wave as well in January of 2020. So let me know down below in the comments what you think about this. Do you think that some Legacy sets don't really need to be, I guess, improvements, or what is your overall stance on this? Feel free to leave all your thoughts down below in the comments regarding that, and I look forward to reading what you guys come up with. With all that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including the Marvelous Jan. Thank you so much for pledging to the $10 tier. As such, you will receive a spoken shout out and a written shout out at the end of every video, plus additional early access content on the Patreon page from time to time. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.